Today on In the Woodyard, we're at ARB Session, and we're looking at Clogger chainsaw pants. All kinds of new cool things that you need. If you want to stay safe, stop your legs from bleeding when you hit it with a chainsaw, this is the stuff. We're in the store, we're looking around, they've got everything an arborist or a young man or a girl could possibly want to outfit themselves with. Look at the cool boots. They got hikes boots, they got Protus helmets. They got all the stuff that you need to stay safe. And that's why we're here today. We're looking at chainsaw pants. And there's some new models, and Danny is going to show us what they've got. If you're interested in what they offer, they have a complete online store. You can shop from anywhere in the world, arbsession.com. And Danny is the guy that takes care of people, and he's got all the stuff you could want. They do custom ropes. You see all the different custom ropes they do there. They do that. And they got all the gear for arborists. They also have chainsaws. So very cool. Let's chat. Look at this. We got pants. I'm here with Danny at ARB Session. He is the guy. So when you guys want to call about anything arborist related or chainsaw related or safety related, which is the reason we're here, because we're going to be talking about pants, safety pants. What would you call these?
Chainsaw resistant pants.
Chainsaw resistant climber arborist
pants,
gear.
yeah.
Yep. But he's the guy that we talked to, and he set us up with all of our Protus helmets and our comms. Bert and Adam buy all their climbing gear and stuff here. You guys are located in Green Bay, for those of you that haven't seen this before. And you guys have an online business, basically.
Yeah, 98, 99% is online.
They got a little shop here with stuff that you can stop in and get, so it's kind of cool. That we have it close by, but they've got everything you need, whether you're arborist or if you're a person that does any kind of cutting. So now I've gone through probably 4 pair of chaps that I can think of. I had just the standard cheap ones a long time ago. I actually hit my leg twice. They do work. The chainsaw stops instantly and you go, holy crap. When it hits you. I was cutting brush both times, swinging the saw back and forth, and it just happened so fast. I hit something and the tip bounced off.
Yeah, the kickback.
It was like getting punched. I mean, like somebody punched me hard. Both times was in one in my lower left leg and one in my upper right leg. And I know if I wouldn't have had the chaps on, I would have had a severe cut in my right thigh. I mean, it was like one of those, like, I'm sure glad I had them on. So, yeah, there's something very important. I know a lot of guys are like, oh, safety schmafety. You know, they don't wear the helmets. They don't wear eye protection. They don't wear ear protection. They just wear old leather boots, or worse yet, something like
flip-flops and Crocs.
No, Crocs, that's it. I've seen guys cutting in Crocs. Like, are you stupid? Like,
oh, yeah.
Obviously, yes. Like we were just talking a little bit before we started here, one cut is average, like it's 110 stitches. And it's not just that you're got to pay to get yourself stitched back up.
It's your well-being. Yeah, I mean, you're out of work.
Your downtime. Your downtime.
You may never walk the same again.
I know a guy, a lot of you know Clogger Jason. He cut his leg a couple of years ago, and it got infected. And then they had to open it back up and re-sew him back up. He was off work for like months. Yeah. So safety has no price.
It's cheap.
It's cheap insurance. Yeah. So whether you're cutting just a little bit, especially if you're just beginning, that's the time you really want to be the most safe, because you don't know what you're doing yet. Because trust me, I know I was that guy at one time.
Or the guy that says, I barely ever use a chainsaw.
Those are the worst ones.
Those are the ones that really need them the most. Yeah,
absolutely. So, like I said, I've gone through several pair of chaps. Right now, I've got full wraps, and I like them. They're nice. They work. The bad thing about them is they get really hot. Number one. Number two, they're stiff and clumsy. They're not flexible. I find, especially if I'm in the woods, they get caught on branches and stuff all the time. They're getting hooked in the straps and on the bottom.
Buckles breaking.
Stuff, they're just not that great. And going with pants that are made specifically for the keeping your body from bleeding is important. To me, it is anyway.
Yeah.
And a lot of you have seen Adam. He's got a pair of these. These are cloggers, and you've seen him with these pants on. If you see the back there. These are actually chainsaw pants. So Adam wears these all the time, and we liked them so much we were talking about, I think maybe I need to do something like this. When I go to a logging show, and if I'm demonstrating,
showing people I can wear these all day and look like I've just got a pair of jeans on, which is kind of cool. And like you said, you can stop somewhere and not look like you got your Halloween costume on. So, which are fine. You know, a lot of arborists wear these. The big benefit to these is they're extremely flexible.
Yes.
So what's the difference between these pairs that you've got here?
So these are Clogger's brand new Ultra Zeros. They have been renowned for having super lightweight pants with their Clogger Zeros Gen 2s. So they made them even more breathable. So these are probably going to be your most breathable, lightweight pant out on the market that still gives you all the chainsaw protection you need.
So when you say breathable, it means there's this. Is this the pair that has the protection in the front and the back open, or is that this pair?
Yes. So this one has the 360 protection. So there's actually protection on the back of your caps as well. Okay. But they have these giant vents that keep you nice and cool, especially on those hot, humid, muggy days.
And then this is protection just in the front.
Yep, so this one is protection just in the front, so all you're going to have is the very front of the pant where the back of the caps will be even more breathable. So in reality, yes, they would be more comfortable than the 360, but you can't have too much protection sometimes.
More is good.
More is good.
So you were showing me the inside. What's the difference between what they use compared to other chaps?
So they use Denim. There's a chemical compound that they UHMWPWE or something like that, but it's basically a name brand of Denim, and they weave it, so it's still breathable. Unlike most of them are using plastic, which keeps all the heat in, keeps the moisture in. So they're going to be breathable. It's extremely flexible. A lot of people think that this is a hot pad just because of the square, but this is just a sample that they gave us. But they have it all woven inside, so it makes it super flexible. So like for climbers, for sitting on a processor all day, anytime, they're just, it almost feels like pajamas. Like we have a lot of customers that won't even touch a saw in a day, but they're wearing them.
Right, right. Well, I know a lot of arborists, you see the whole team will have everything on.
Yeah.
Because if you got a crew there, obviously you don't want anybody to get hurt.
Well, yeah, and some states are even requiring it to have pants now, not chaps, because you can't prove that they're wearing it when they're touching a chainsaw.
Right.
So anybody on a crew has to have pants.
And in Europe, you have to have everything.
Everything, yeah.
You have to have the helmet. You have to have eye protection. You have to have ear protection.
Yep.
You have to have approved gloves. You have to have approved jackets, high vis with protection.
They're very strict over there.
They're very strict.
Which isn't a bad thing.
And you can't even, somebody was telling me from one of the other countries, somewhere over in Europe, you can't even buy a chainsaw until you go to the class.
That's a little out there, but
well, they're all about safety because and the reason is, and a lot of people argue about this and everything. I get it, because it's government-sponsored health care.
Oh yeah.
So because of that, they have all these rules that you have to follow because they don't want people getting hurt because then they got to pay for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so these are the newest Zeros, most lightweight. Then obviously we have our Denims. These are more fashionable. They are going to be warmer. They'll still be lighter than your everyday chaps. You know, your plastic lined for your cut protection. Another thing a lot of people will say is when they get their first pair, they'll be like, wow, these things are super tight. They are tighter because when the chainsaw does hit your leg, you don't want this twisting all the way around and then getting to the part that doesn't have the protection.
Right.
So
makes sense.
Just be aware they're not your comfy jeans that you wear every day, but they are comfortable.
Right. And then what do you got here?
Then these are the Defender Pros. So these are more of a price point pair, but they also are more durable. So that you don't get the nicer outer material that's as breathable as your Zeros. So they are a little bit heavier, but they're still going to be, again, way lighter than your chaps.
So now, do some of the arborists, people that wear these all the time, do they wear these in the summer and then these in the winter because they're a little heavier? Does that happen sometimes?
Yeah, that happens. There are a few. Clogger's been around since '94, so they got a full line of different pants. A lot of people go with like for northern people, like Canada, they usually use the Embers, where they actually have insulation in them.
Oh, okay.
So on top of the chainsaw protection, they do a layer of insulation to keep it
in general,
warmer.
do you know guys that wear these that are wearing them like in the wintertime? Are they loose enough fitting that you can get a pair of long underwear under them? Or
not long underwear, but you can do a thermal.
Okay.
One of the real tight, like almost like spandex.
Right,
you can get those on under. Long underwear can kind of get bulky under there.
Okay. Okay. Now also talking, I asked him about not just the durability, but the oil that you get on everything that you wear when you're running with saws and stuff. That you do get oil on these, but they are washable.
Yes. Yeah, you can throw them in a washing machine on delicate. Don't go hot. You can't go over about 100 degrees. I think it's 105 in their manual. And you always air dry them. And always air dry them indoors. Don't put them out on the line because UV is what deteriorates the pants and the chainsaw protection.
And this is something, I don't know, you're married, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, see, I am married too, and there's something I can tell you about. One thing my wife has found out over the years is when I come home, I'm greasy and oily and dirty and messy and full of sawdust. If my stuff needs to get washed,
You do it.
I do it myself in a bucket in the garage with some Dawn to clean some of this. I have some jeans I've actually washed. You get grease and oil, but there's nothing wrong with them other than that they're getting bad because you wipe your hands and especially with hydraulic fluid, when we're changing out implements and stuff on the tractor, I just wipe it on my pants all the time. So I get grease on her. She doesn't want that in her wash machine. So I have a bucket and some Dawn that I take out and wash them up, hang them on the line. And plus, I think by hand washing and wringing and squeezing them, I get them actually cleaner.
Probably. Yeah, because they only put so much water in your washing machine.
And there's only so much agitation.
Yeah.
It's for lightly soiled. And these are heavily soiled quite often.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely don't use any aggressive cleaners on them. That also goes against the Dyneema and how it affects it.
Okay. So when you're talking about price point, so a cheapy pair of chaps, you're going to pay what, $70-$80 for the cheapy ones?
Yeah, from like Fleet Farm or
which is better than nothing. I tell everybody,
is.
if you're buying a chainsaw, just buy your chaps first, and then get your chainsaw. Get your chaps first. That's better than nothing. But if you get like a full wrap, you're going to pay what, 170, 80, somewhere in there, maybe 200.
Yeah, about $200 for full wrap chaps.
Yeah, for full wrap. And then when you go to like this is the
economical in my mind.
So you're talking how much for these?
These are about $325.
$325.
And then if you add certain things, like if you're taller, it'll add a little bit more. But you can get these all custom made, which is nice. So they have a short version, tall version. And then if you have been a person that you always buying specially made clothes because you're a weird shape, they can make them.
Oh, okay, that's cool. And then up from there, would these be next price point? Or are these kind of all equal?
Yeah, the denims are the same price, $325.
Okay.
And then from there you jump up to the Clogger ZERO ULTRAs, which I believe they just increased their prices.
These?
That's the version below this.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say it's in between this and the Defenders. Still very lightweight pants, but I believe those are like $430. And then these are their newest ones. They start at $480.
Yeah. And I know a lot of you hearing this for the first time are like, really, for a pair of pants? How much would it cost you to cut your leg with a chainsaw?
It's cheap.
Yeah, it's thousands of dollars. It is cheap. Plus, if they're comfortable and you wear them all the time, you're going to be safer. Because that's the number one thing I have found, especially with any safety gear. If it's comfortable, you're going to like to wear it. If it's not comfortable, you're not going to wear it.
100%.
And if you know it's going to work, you're going to wear it. I know my dad never wore chaps until we talked him into it. And finally we got him to wear chaps. And one day he was out cutting, and he has a bad arm and a bad back because he's 80-something. And we got him a little chainsaw to cut with. And now he loves wearing the chaps because he cuts a lot in the wintertime. He can kneel down in the snow. And he said, yeah, I don't even get cold knees, and it's comfortable, and because he can't bend over. And
so there's a pro to it. Yep.
Yeah, he really likes them. He says, yeah, I got to wear my chaps. So we got him convinced.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, they're, like I said, a lot of people wear them like pajamas. They're just all day wearing them.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from some of the arborists I've talked to. They say, yeah, once you wear them, it's like you don't want to wear regular pants.
Right.
They like wearing these instead of jeans.
Yeah.
Because jeans are more binding and everything. So very cool. So show me about the features on these as far as what there's. And I noticed, what is this here?
Yep, so those are loops. So they do make braces for them. So if you're a suspender kind of guy, you can go along with the elastic braces. Now each pant has their own
Now you say
style.
Suspender guy. 99% of the time I see suspenders, it's because the guy can't wear a belt because they won't stay up.
Yeah.
So we're just saying if you're what would be the word? If you're husky.
Yes. Yeah, husky. That'd be a good way to put it.
Big boned.
Yes. But yeah, so the Ultras, and this is newer for their Ultra pants, is these braces. But yeah, so basically this, and then you got your back, and then it goes up and over to the front. They also make braces for buttons and braces for if you have nothing. So just pop these open real quick.
This is just a clip.
Just a clip. Nice. So it's nice and easy.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yep. And then this one, these are similar, but these are for like your denims.
Oh, so the clamp,
yep.
on, yeah.
Yep.
Got it.
So yeah, this is going to be 4 little pinch clamps. So
I think there's some guys that like wearing braces or what's the other word you'd call it?
Suspenders.
Suspenders, yeah. They like wearing because they think it looks cool. I think it's a fashion thing for some guys.
Yeah,
there's
it's
some guys
a forestry
that
fashion. That don't need them.
Yeah, they wear them.
Yep. And then they do make one more that is made for doing buttons. So some companies will sew buttons on them. You can get cloggers with buttons on them.
Okay.
It's just a special order, and they're super fast, 2-ish weeks, and we usually have the pants here.
Cool.
So.
But still, there is loops.
Belt loops, yep.
And there's a lot of loops, which I really like, because I know there's a certain couple different brands of jeans I've had over the years where there's not enough. You're missing one in the back, and then your belt will ride up a little bit on you over time.
Loop in, and so basically creates a pocket for sawdust.
Yeah, it does. And these have loops all the way around, which is really nice. I like that.
Yeah.
And it's got an elastic band, so it's flexible. So if you're moving, I like that a lot.
Yep, flexible and super comfortable around the
pockets,
waist. Yep, all zippered pockets, except for your back one, but your front ones are all zippered.
Sawdust out. Yep, and they zip down, which is nice.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that'll work. And then you said the venting. How does that work?
Yep. So these just have big old vents, mesh vents in the back. So basically gets any airflow from the front going right out the back.
And there's something that you can open on one of these too? These are just all pockets.
Those are just all pockets.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there is on some of the models, they do have openable vents. None of these ones. These are all fixed vents.
Got it. Okay. So it's just a permanent vent.
Yep.
So it's breathing, yeah.
Yep.
'Cause I know there's some other things.
Yeah,
I've
like
seen
on the
that,
Embers, I believe they have an openable vent, and on the Ascends, they have openable vents.
And when you say Ascend, are those more climber guys use those?
Yep. Yep. Ascends are pretty good for climbers who are fall and summer, or fall and spring climbing. Yeah, they were designed for climbers, but the majority of climbers are still wearing the Zeros.
Yeah, why is that? That's just what they like? It seems to be.
Yeah, they're cooler. The Ascends are, they're probably in this realm for heat.
So a little warmer.
It's a little bit warmer. And, you know, guys that are climbing are exerting a lot more energy than guys on the ground.
Yeah. I've never seen a fat monkey yet.
No. There are big guys climbing, but
I know. Yeah. I meant real monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
If you're climbing, usually they're not too chunky. And there's some guys that can climb that.
Yeah, and they're impressive.
Guys. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll go out on limbs I probably wouldn't even go out on.
But generally, the guys that I see, the climbers, are the small, wiry, or they're just kind of those guys that they look like a monkey.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Well, they're good at it. They're good at it. They're made to climb. Yeah.
Yep.
There's ground guys and there's guys that are tree guys.
Yep.
Not saying they can't switch, but if you're interested, you've got all this online.
Yep.
It's this guy you'll see, ARB Session. Or you can call you, but you can also email, you can text, you can get a hold of you all different ways.
Yep.
So how do they get a hold of you? What's your site?
Arbsession.com, just like it sounds. And then our phone number is 920-347-4450. And you can call and text. Texting, it goes right to our computers, so should be pretty quick on answering you back.
And you guys can generally get stuff out within a day or two?
Within a day or two. Mondays are a little bit more hectic. We're catching up from the weekends, but yeah, usually 1 or 2 days if it's in stock. Clogger's one of our fastest overseas company, usually about 2-ish weeks, and we can have their pants here.
Very cool. So I got one other topic to talk about here. Because of so many trees dying everywhere, because you've got emerald ash borer, you've got oak wilt, you've got the pine beetle thingy, there's something killing beech trees.
Yep.
I noticed there's a lot of arborists everywhere you look.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
And
they're all busy.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's just been nuts for you guys because. So what do you think is going to happen once all the trees die off? Are the ones that have the disease?
They're still growing.
The trees are they're still
trees grow every day.
But I was talking to another guy that in another type of business, and he was saying there's a lot of arborists he sees that shouldn't be arborists.
Yes, that is. Well, they call themselves arborists
because they never had any kind of classes or schooling certifications, nothing, and they're just out there cutting trees down.
All I gotta say is that they should be doing it safely.
and they should have insurance. That's what.
And definitely insurance, yeah.
and
Don't
people-
hire somebody to cut a tree down that doesn't have insurance.
I have a lot of people get a hold of me because of my firewood business and say, hey, I've got this, because I sell wood to them. I got a tree in the yard. Do you want it? It needs to go down. And generally what it is that they got a quote on it.
And it's a lot.
And it's a $2,000 job, and they want to give me the tree for free. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, there's a power line, there's a house,
Yep.
there's a barn, there's a fence. Hire a pro. It'll be cheaper than having somebody cut a tree down and smash your house.
Yep. And then the guy just disappears on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's it for today, folks. I'm going to go try these on, and I'll do some modeling at the wood yard.